Nope, I'm not giving this one back. Write me an angry email, tell me I'm greedy, or I don't care, this thing is just too good looking. And if you could guess it, this lovely piece comes from airsoftStation.com. Now this video is going to be a review revisit since I felt like I didn't do my best in the last video. So let's see why I think this Umarex licensed H&K is worth $340. And I better make some good points because that's not easy money to come by. Alright, so let's start with a quick unboxing. Just as expected from an H&K replica from Umarex, we get a big H&K color themed box with branding all over its surface. But lift up the lid and we can see the very few items we get inside. No G36 inside at this moment, but when it arrives it will be wrapped in a nice, lovely, environmentally friendly plastic bag.
What? Ah, hell no. Where's that litter bug?
And yeah, you get a usual cleaning and a jamming rod with the manual booklet in a Ziploc bag. Elite Force even took the liberty to throw in some small ads and some registration stuff in here. I'm so curious as to how many people really register airsoft guns though. As for the manual, it's colorful and will show you the basics like battery installation and how to use the controls, but I was surprised to see that there was no explode view or parts list in this book. But it is a G36, so if you have any experience at all in teching, then you shouldn't have any problems at all. So now I'm done with this box. So next is the G36 itself. And there's no surprise that this full-size G36 is just classy and beautiful. But first off, I'm going to show off the included high cap magazine that really impressed me. I had no problems with winding, feeding, and had no jams, so if you fill this with 400 BBs, you should get them all to feed properly. But I prefer mid-caps anyways, because that's my playstyle. And they are readily available. And do I have to really remind anyone watching that you can always snap together other G36 mags together with these hooks on either side? And I shouldn't need to say that you can release a mag from the well with a large AK type paddle release. Nope, I don't think I do, but I did it anyway. Putting the mags aside, we'll take a look at the barrel's end, where you can find the bright orange plastic tip. No surprise there, but moving back, we get a metal bayonet mount and barrel that's surrounded by a plastic handguard. The build quality here is very high. I've had my hands on the G36 before, including the KWA type, and this one just takes the cake for its durability. And as for the bipod, I'm generally happy about it. It's easy to deploy, and you can swivel it a bit to angle yourself. And when you're done, just push in these tabs and pull the legs back. Super easy. Going out of order here, I want to point out the folding stock is also easy to use, and that it's well padded with a thick rubber pad. To fold said stock, just push this button on the left side, then you can fold it over to the right. But to get the stock to stay in place, you'll have to pull up slightly so it'll lock in place with a cutout on the replica brass deflector. Then just do that process in reverse to undo it all. The receiver set here will not differ from the rest of the body construction, and it does carry along some great features, including ambidextrous controls for safe, semi, 2-round burst, which indicates that there's a MOSFET system inside, and of course we have full auto. I did notice however that the selector switches kinda glide over the options given, instead of clicking into place firmly. I thought this would make things annoying when I wanted 2-round burst, but I instead skipped over it unknowingly and went into either semi-auto or full auto. But in game I didn't face this issue at all, but I guess I was aware of it so I had already adjusted myself for it. Going up now, the bolt even features a few things, like a functioning forward assist. Just push the charging handle to one side, and then push it in, and then pull it out when you're done with it. The effective blowback also adds a bit of recoil when shooting, but it does run on the piston. A functioning bolt hold open can also be activated by pulling the bolt back and then pushing up this little button inside the trigger guard, which is appreciated. This makes things easy when you want to adjust your hop up. And with .28 you can easily reach out to about 200 to 250 feet. Oh, and don't forget about that carry handle and sighting combo on top. No iron sights needed on this 36, because we have both a roughly 3.5 power scope with a very interesting donut shaped reticle and a red dot on top of that. But the battery it uses is beyond me, so that's where the manual comes in handy. And if you don't like this large carry handle arrangement, you can always remove it with the removal of 2 screws and a cross pin if you'd like to get a rail top or have nothing there at all. With this system on top, the whole piece just looks so classic and a little retro, but there's one more neat feature I want to point out. Some companies out there talk about how awesome their guns are because they have the all-new quick change spring system, but this G36 is where all those companies should really take notes. And here's why. First, fold the stock but don't clasp it. Next, push out this pin and now pull out the back portion of the receiver and mock bolt and spring before, surprise surprise, you can see the real quick change plug. This is super easy and quick, and anyone can do this even with the smallest of brain capacity. And the battery placement is just as easy. Push out this pin, pull the handguard off, and here are your small type connections. You should be able to get any nunchuck battery to fit or any small LiPo, but let me make this clear. Not all handguards are made the same, so trying to get the handguard pin back in can get annoying sometimes. Especially if you need to get into the game immediately because everyone's heading out, because sometimes you might be out of luck. But if you can just line up the holes upright with a bit of flexing here and there, you should get it eventually. I really like this gun, and I haven't been so happy to add something to my pile of reps in a long while, and a bit of that has to do with it being a bit unique. You see G36Cs now and then in the US, but it's a little rare to see the full-size rifle out and about. So that's what really interests me here. Good thing the build quality on this Umarex is very high, and the enjoyment I get out of the blowback action actually is kind of fun. And of course I like to get that attention whenever I bring it out to a game. Now I did accidentally delete my footage of me chronoing this gun, but with .2s the readings were coming out to around 430 feet per second, so it's a little high, but remember you do have that quick change spring system, and I don't expect anyone to really bring this into a CQB game. So with all that, I think I'm done here, but what do you think? Did I make a good investment, or should I have spent my money elsewhere? Let me know what you think down below, as I love to read your comments. And if you're into this Umarex product, then be sure to check out the description for the links to send you off to airsoftStation.com, so you can get yours for yourself. And let me know what you'd like for me to review next, as I really want to review one of those Avalons from VFC. They're a little bit new, and they look pretty good. But until that next review or countdown drops for you all to enjoy, this has been Scott Holmbeck from the city of San Antonio, and I'll be sure to see you all next time.